AITA for telling my husband he's too broke to be so sexist? Am I the asshole? OK_schedule 1138. Hashtag this is now a proctologist's only orifice, n when a post is in poo mode. https www.reddit.com/r/amethyshole/comments/168bzq8/title_aida_monthly_September_2023. Only users with enough subreddit comment karma are able to comment. If that doesn't include you, no worries. Check out new. https www.reddit.com/r/amethyshole/new for other posts that are still open for comment. Be civil. https www.reddit.com/r/amethyshole/about/rules. Please review our FAQ if you're unsure what that means. Thank you for reporting content that you believe violates our rules and helping keep posts out of the poo by abiding by our rules. Farvas Cola 1. NTA, I get you want to present a united front to the kids, but he said that about you in front of them, and that is not an idea you want taking root in your children's mind. He was banking on you bowing to peer family pressure to get away with this disrespect of you and your family's normal way of division of labor. He gambled and lost on that, and I am really proud that you did not bow down just because his parents were there or that the kids were in the room. Too many people let things like this slide so as not to upset the apple cart. This is all on him. He decided it was better for him and easier for him risk your feelings than stand up to his parents. He chose to upset you versus upsetting his mother. I honestly would not have let them have any of the takeout food. I would have probably taken my kids and left to have dinner with just me and the kids. Judge everyone's business. 2621. NTA. Your husband was indeed a coward. He has been a willing participant in your marriage all along and has gamely contributed to the agreement you have that works for you both. It was incredibly hurtful of him to not uphold his own decisions nor defend his wonderful partner of a wife to his parents. When the shit hit the fan, he failed to hold up. And that's a really sad realization for you. What you said might have been hurtful and cutting, but it was the truth. And only came out because he said, also in front of your children, that you weren't a proper woman and didn't take adequate care of your home and children. Frankly, he needed to hear it. How can he think you should be more or better with all that you're already doing? Does he think it's really a valid option for you to just drop your work and career to be a homemaker? And how does he think that's gonna go for your family? It's absurdly impractical and makes him look like an imbecile to think it has merit. Hate to fall into old Reddit tropes, but it's gotta be therapy or divorce time. No? Definitely do the therapy route, because it sounds like he's like 85% bought in and working to be a better person. But that 15% reared its head when his parents came around. Which might mean you need some firm boundaries against his parents. It's sickening that they abused their influence of him and used their time with him alone to turn him against you. If it were me, they would not be welcome in my home ever again, and I'd be seriously considering limiting their access to the grandkids as well, because they are poisonous against you. Owls_and_cardinals. 8145. NTATO. Be honest. I would, they been even meaner. Oh honey. I would love to be there for my children and cook meals for you. But as you can't provide for me, like a traditional man would, and can't lead but are led by your mother, I am forced to be the man and the woman here. I also won't tolerate to be talked to like your mother does in my own home. In my home. Eating food I pay for. Another word and I will kick them out. Your husband needs a spine. Desperately. Cake-eating rabbit. 6688. Sucks the kids were there for it, but he deserved worse. NTA should have ordered only enough food for you and the kids. Why comment queasy? 25,967. NTA. First thing to do is tell the ILs they are no longer welcome in your home. If husband wants to see them, he can go visit them. ID put strict rules in place about contact with the children. Your children should not have to listen to them denigrate their mother. Do talk to your children and say you're sorry they had to hear that, and that adult conversations should be private. Do not apologize to your husband. He was fine with letting his parents attack you, and he said you were not a proper woman. He should be groveling at this point. Tell him he has a choice of therapy for himself or divorce. Your children do not need to be brought up in a sexist, demeaning household. Be firm and take care of yourself. Squirrel Sarah Evil 2479. 1785. Obviously NTA. But I do have to wonder, what exactly has your husband and parents-in-law been saying about you? Amongst each other? Doesn't sound like your husband is stopping any malicious slandering. Sounds more like he's joining in. More than that, how much of what they've slandered you about was said in the hearing of the kids? Little mice have large ears. And kids have a habit of eavesdropping when the adults gossip about their parents. There's a huge crisis in your marriage right now, since your husband basically betrayed you. Like literally took what you agreed on, equality, and trusted him with your children, and did the opposite of what you trusted him to do. It's a betrayal. I am sorry you are dealing with this. I'd be interested in hearing what he has to say for himself when you talk to him. And you must talk to him about it ASAP. Metal Morian 1378. NTAA, proper man, husband, wouldn't allow someone to disrespect his wife like that and would be strong enough to stand up to a guest in his home. He is weak and cowardly. They can leave and take him with them if they don't find you a proper woman, mother, wife. There are so many men who are so vocal out one side of their mouth about wanting a traditional women relationship where the woman is subservient and the man leads. But out the other side they yell gold digger and shit at the idea of picking up the financial cost of supporting a woman he wants available 24/7 to see to his needs. Hell, they won't even pick up the whole dinner tab. Kindly Celebration 223. 672. AITA for tricking my brother into selling me his half of our childhood home, then demolishing it. Am I the asshole? Key Awareness 3064. NTA. And I love that you told your mom. Cool. But now you are also on your own. Good job, and I do hope you follow through with that. Low Balance 4404. 607. Let me get this straight. You bought out his share. Put up your money to build this fourplex. He did not contribute a dime. Yet wants you to give him an apartment rent-free? NTA. Unless you accede to his greedy and entitled demands, you owe him nothing. It appears your mother's threat to write you out of her will won't bother you. And you've informed her of the consequences. Sorry you have to put up with these people. Funny Anchor 123. 2722. NTA. You bought his half of the house. You paid him. He wanted the money. His share of the money was spent buying cars and going on holiday. Your share of the money was spent investing. He's just pissed and bitter because he made bad choices and you made better choices. And now he's acting like he is entitled to your good decisions because he's your brother. Also, mom is in the wrong for the heavy and outright blackmail ultimatum she put on you. Money really does bring out the bad in people. Wrong_midnight_1618. 5590. NTA. XA0, XA0, XA0 greater than my mom dotes on my brother like he farts perfume. XA0 that's pretty obvious from Your brother's ridiculous request, let me guess. When you were kids, he'd eat his treats quickly, then demand that you share yours with him. And your mother forced you to do it. Because FAAA Amelie, XA0, 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 you both got equal shares of the house. There was no trick. Your brother wanted the money and he got it. He wanted to spend it on a car and a vacation. And that's what he did. XA0, meanwhile, you chose to invest it. And probably a boatload more of your own money plus labor. Into something that could generate value in the long term. He didn't invest a cent into that, nor lifted a finger to contribute. Yet he feels entitled to the benefits? XA0, this isn't free money. It's the profit from your investment, risk and hard work. XA0, your answer to him and to your mother, who is enabling this shitty behavior, was perfect. Stick to those boundaries. And do not, under any circumstances, let either of them move into one of your units. They want to pay rent and you want to be able to get them out. XA0 edited to add. You should expect your mother to leave everything to your brother regardless of what you do. Keep that in mind when deciding whether and how much to contribute to her upkeep. Ask yourself this: if she has an inheritance to leave, why does she need you to support her? Is it because she's already giving her money to her golden child? Helpful_hour 1984. 1619. Have you tried being related to less stupid people? Neogishal, 182. Clearly NTA. Why comment queasy? 14,237. You told your brother that tear down and infill was the way to go. He didn't want the hassle. He just wanted his money out fast. You bought him out, took on all the work and debt, and are now very comfortable. Well done. Absolutely NTA. Since your brother farts perfume, it's entirely possible that even if you were to give your brother what he's asking for, your mom will still cut you out of her will. Ignore your mom and brother. Let them cool off. They will never see the situation for what it is. There will always be sour grapes and there's nothing you can do to change that. Is this rabbit? 149. AITA for refusing to allow my daughter to use my son's stuff. Am I the asshole? Dawses on things. Info. Is she rubbing it in his face at all or bragging about being better or smarter than him? Or is it that she picks these things up after him, does better, and he sees that she does better? Chaotic Phi Gay. 1262. It seems like you actively encourage your son to do these things like coding or buying him the robotics kit, but not your daughter, who is clearly interested in STEM and excels at it to the point of being considered for prodigy-level courses. Also, the way this is written seems like these aren't feelings your son is expressing as much as feelings you have about your daughter excelling in math, STEM, and participating in extracurricular activities while your son just hasn't found his thing yet. Pale_wave_3379. 2299. Have you considered that she's not one-upping him and instead has a genuine interest in the subject? If she's clearly taunting him because she's more skilled, that's a conversation you need to have with the both of them and then allow them to resolve. If she's simply a quicker learner, then that's all there is to it. Are you projecting your feelings onto the situation? Why is she asking you to use his stuff instead of asking her brother? Is it a one-time use product? Maybe her brother is okay with her using the components as well. Sharing the items is something they have to decide between the two of them as siblings. Have a conversation with her about the hobby budget. Maybe she would consider spending the dollar allocated on her more technical, scientific endeavors. If this a monthly budget, then she can make different decisions for this upcoming month. Edit. Fixed. Sharing the items is something they have to decide between the two of them as siblings. Chanukian. 3826. Info. What are your son's actual interests that he chose on his own? Tiffany_case, 145. YTA. Honestly? I'm not entirely sold on your perspective here. Not only have you completely brushed over how impressive your daughter is for creating a program, but you seem more concerned with how her talents impact your son's feelings. Quite frankly, it sounds like she's simply better at coding than your son. Instead of teaching your son that self-esteem comes from within, you've made it into your daughter's issue. Why are you not more proud of her? Are you not worried about her self-esteem? Perception Large 9037. 1079. But YTA. You said you encouraged your son to learn to code, so he's not naturally interested in it. Getting the hack pack was also your decision, not your son's. Your daughter, on the other hand, is naturally interested. That's why she ends up better in it. Why do you keep pushing your son into STEM instead of supporting your daughter? You have to let go of the notion that boys should be encouraged into STEM more than girls, and support both kids in areas that they're interested in. What does your son even like? Have you ever asked him? Quote, Asianing or many. 917. Based on all comments I read of you plus the post, YTASHE doesn't one-up him. She just ends up being better and offering to teach him. You cleared that up in a comment. She is not really allowed to have actual opportunities school wise and relies on self-learning to meet her pretty clear need for challenges. You explained that in a comment. In the entire post you talk about how you give stuff to your son to learn new things, and your daughter hijacks it. Nothing about how you actually try and encourage her to meet her level of interests, greater than I told her that she had already allocated her hobby funds. It sounds a lot like this isn't enough, not money wise, but level wise. It doesn't sound like she's genuinely being taught in school on the level she needs without being bored, unchallenged. But in no comment did you give any reason why for it. Just that it was recommended she takes a higher path and you don't go for that path. Joe Bocci. 500. AITA for refusing to make a packed lunch for my sil even though we work together? Am I the asshole? No Shine 7382. My guess is the brother-in-law had a come-to-Jesus meeting with the sister-in-law about how much she was spending on lunches minus $20 per day 5 days a week is $100. He most likely told her she couldn't spend that kind of money anymore because of their financial situation. Rather than pull up her big girl panties and alter her behavior, i.e. meal prep, she decided to become a pariah and try to guilt Op into doing it for her. Pure guess on my part. Based on Op's description of sister-in-law's behavior, Op is NTA. But the sister-in-law needs to buckle up because her buttercup world is going to be continually rocked if she keeps up. Lady Chris. 4581. What the what? She wanted you to just give her your own lunch and go hungry yourself? That is such bizarre behavior, it's hard to believe. Seems like her strategy was first demand something so floridly unreasonable that when you climb down to, okay, then you should make and bring in lunch for me every day, at your own expense. When you make your own, you'll be overjoyed at the comparative reasonableness of this unreasonable demand. She sounds ridiculous, but it would be very generous and checks notes. Good-natured of you to post your packed lunch ideas right here. Reasonable sale 8611. 1155. WTF? Of course you don't owe her food or preparation thereof. What is wrong with this woman? If she has kids, what does she do about their lunches? No, you don't owe your husband's sister food. No, you don't owe a coworker food. In both cases, that person is way over the line to demand it of you, even with AITA, where a lot is often left out. I can't think of anything that could have been left out that would change this at all. NTA and let your husband deal with his family. If it's a problem at work, take it to HR after firmly telling her no and not to bring it up again. She's harassing you. And I presume only you and not other colleagues. Tangerine_bouquet. 283. I'm so baffled by the way these entitled people operate. I don't know how your relationship is with your sil in general, but I bet if she had had a calm chat with you in an appropriate moment, read, not at work FFS, and said she was struggling so much and whether it would be possible for you to prepare more of the same thing you were making anyways if she paid for her share of the groceries because she just didn't have the time. You might have said yes once or twice a week. Sure, you can. Focus being might. You still would not have to have helped at all, but you might have chosen to. This way there is no way on earth I would consider it at all. What's wrong with her? Glad to see your husband is on your side though. Kes Locomotive. 400. I'd love to know what you take for your packed lunches. I feel like I'm in a rut with what I currently take. ETA. NTA of course. In no way. Dry Task 9789. 131. 1. NTA. Loaf of bread, peanut butter, jelly, and a banana. There is a solid lunch for her. I eat that 5 days a week. Ha 1R ball. 51. Wow. What a piece of work your sil is. I think she probably wants you to buy her lunch. But because you take yours in every day, that wasn't an option. So trying to guilt you into sharing or packing hers is the only option. Being very cynical. I think even if you did pack her lunch, I am 100% against you doing that. Shed complain about it not being right somehow. She comes across as that type. Your sil could easily pack her own lunch. As someone else asked, what does she do for the kids? I pack my lunch every day too. I keep it really simple. Usually a sandwich with a piece of fruit, chips and a yogurt or maybe some chocolate, or leftovers. I set the non-perishable stuff out the night before, then just make the sandwich and put it all into my lunch bag. Quick, easy and much cheaper than buying lunch at work. Go hubby for having your back in this. Quote, Bonnie 1. 107.